it is. Okay, yeah, that's up. That's still sending the data. I hope this works. Okay, yeah, this is working. That's up. Right. Show me this. I wanna see this. I'm gonna mute that so I don't get like massive whatchamacallit. I need to pop out the chat for that. And for this. And then I think I'll be ready to start. Yes. Okay, awesome. I need to like make a Discord server or something so I can at least let people know when I go live. Because doing this randomly, it's not the best idea. Right. Let me just double check everything. I'm not clicking the right things. Okay. Yeah, okay, so everything's set up right. Awesome. My keyboard's not working. There we go. Hello! And awesome, my wheat has grown. So I can actually expand my farm now. Oh, that one wasn't grown, but you know. Do I? Yeah, it's in my chest, isn't it? I actually don't know what I'm gonna do for this stream. I think I could do more mining, but I've done a lot of that already. But other than that, I don't know what I would do. Because my biggest thing is just like actually progressing. I don't know what people do past the point of getting armor. Like, once you've got armor in Minecraft, what do you do afterwards? Where do you go? That's like my question. So, 1, 2. Oh, that's like, I think that should be the exact amount. Awesome. I need ideas. I don't know what to do. Alright. Okay, I could work on the house a bit more. Or go mining more. I think to progress towards the end, you need to definitely have go to the nether. So I need to find lava, which would be good. I don't know where I'd find lava actually. But I do need to find lava so I can make a source for it. Or at least at there make something. So actually I think I will head in a random direction and hope to find some. Probably, you know, I'll go in this direction just because it's like, you know, close and everything. I don't have any food on me. I'm gonna be making no progress at this rate. Just like constantly running back into my house. Alright, grab that, grab that. Make some bread. And then I should be alright. It's going very slow. I think for this stream I'm going to try and find like a lava pool or something. And then once I've found that, I'll make another portal and try and find a fortress. Which is going to be hard because, as far as I remember, they aren't easy to find. But in the last stream, I did manage to get some armor. So, yeah, I mean... I don't have cheats on, so I can't go immediately to the Ender Dragon. If I could, I would, and like these streams would be 10 times shorter. Hold on. Just need to do something very quickly, if I can. I cannot, damn. I need to remember actually to add the waypoints mod on because I'm gonna totally forget where I am. I'm gonna get like killed by 50 different mods. If someone knows how to remove people from TikTok live chats, please let me know because I want to. Even if that's like a joke or something, that's really weird to ask someone. That looks lava pit worthy, and I hope there is one somewhere. No, but there is iron, and I do need that. There's a lot of coal as well, which is good. Do I go in the cave? No. I'm staying away from those. Like, you'll ever catch me fighting mobs. Actually, yeah, it's gonna turn night soon. That's awesome. Do lava pits spawn in these biomes? I don't know. Why are the bunnies so big? Don't know if that's a mod or if that's just how Minecraft's been updated, but you know. Oh wait, is this a village? Are you kidding me? There was one right near where my base was, and I didn't know. Oh, that's perfect. They actually might have, I hope they have a blacksmith or something. Do these biomes actually get them, though? I don't know. Just steal everything. I'm stealing the chest as well, actually. I'll set my spawn point there, just in case. Wait, hold on. I think if I do that... Oh yeah, I've got the zoom in thing. Awesome. I forgot I had that mod installed. More seeds for my garden would actually be good. This village is not looking very promising though in terms of like good loot, which is kind of sad. Was hoping for better. What is this? You know what? I'll take that as well. Man, is there like no houses here? Is that just like the entire village?
And Hyperoptic, we do full fiber.
Oh, I got an ad! I got an ad!
Do that final boss battle.
I think that's the first time I've gotten an ad whilst playing a YouTube video. That's fun. Yeah, no, I need, like, a lava pit. Or a village with actually good things. All I've gotten so far is a bunch of nothing. Which is beautiful. It's so nice, there's a snow biome there, so there's definitely nothing there. Right, it's turning night as well, so I'll steal one of these villagers' houses. And then continue on my search for a thing. I'm just gonna adjust the mic, actually, I completely forgot to do that. That is like a complete rip-off. Total of 10 emeralds for just 2 pieces of armor. Oh, I don't know if anyone's watching who's played the Tomodachi Life game, but yesterday, I think I got the end credits scene, I was like, what? It's a very good game though, I loved it. And I'm still playing it, obviously, because it's not finished, you know? But it was very fun. I'm hoping that if they do updates for it, that we get updates to the game, because that'd be really cool. Right. I just gotta remember, if I see a birch biome, that's where my house is. There's that put torch there as well. I think, actually, in open, like, plains biomes and stuff is where I'm more likely to find lava. So, I will definitely have to go look in more open areas. And hope for the best. Because if I find one and I know where it is, that makes things so much easier for me. If it's like 5 million blocks away though, that just makes things harder. Oops, missed that. All I know is my house is in, like, that kind of direction. I just need to remember that, so that I don't get completely lost. Otherwise I'll probably just have to make a new house, and that'd be really boring. Oh, there's a wolf! I wish I had bones. I am not near a bed this time though, so I better find a lava pool quick. Right, I'm gonna put torch there because I'm gonna head in this direction. In fact, actually, let me kill these 3 sheep here, just because I'll make a bed. Right. Yep, it's this. Gonna have no space in my inventory soon. Actually, I know saddles, not saddles. What are those things called? The satchels. Yeah, they exist. But I don't think I have the materials to make them. Still no lava, which is awesome. Like, one thing I need is not here still. Don't know why, but it's like, when I need to find something, it takes forever. Also, I'm like pretty sure a butterfly just flew into the window. I like scared me because it came out of nowhere. Right. Oh, that looks like a massive cave. I'm going to avoid it. I'm not gonna fight the Ender Dragon if I can't even go into a cave. Let's make like a ton of beds. That's what I'll do. I'll make a ton of beds and blow up the Ender Dragon. Also, I think this stream will definitely go on YouTube, but the one before it won't be able to because of like, I don't know what happened with the recordings. They just went. But so that's like a whole stream worth content gone. But you know, this one will definitely go up on YouTube. It's just with like the same user, so there's nothing too different about it. Oh, those are some good mountains there. We'll continue heading in this direction though. It's basically just going diagonal from my house until I find a lava pit. Or at least lava. I need some lava. Would have been better if I dug down into the mountain? Probably. But the mountain's full of water for some reason. No, actually, no, I'll head back. I'll head back. I'll head back and dig into the mountain. And then, that's because that's probably better. I mean, which place are you more likely to find lava? In a cave or in, like, a hole in the ground? I feel like the chances are more likely in a mountain cave and not in the floor. Hopefully I've remembered the way back right actually, because if not I'm done for. Hi, hello, welcome to the stream. Just playing Minecraft casually. Well, I say that, trying to beat the game, but it's taken a while because I've never done it before. So, yeah. Trying to do it as legit as possible, so I've not got any mods on that can help me. Don't have cheats on or anything, so I can like get achievements and stuff and not go in creative mode. But yeah, right now just looking for lava so I can make a nether portal. It's not gone very successful, so I'm gonna try my luck underneath my base. And if I can't find lava there, then I think, I don't know, I could start a new world. No, I wouldn't do that. I've made too much progress in this world, actually. Right. It's turning night as well, and I don't like that, because mobs will spawn, and I'm gonna have to, like, fight my way back. That'd be really annoying. And I'll probably end up, like, dying. at a birch biome, but I don't know if this is the birch biome. I think it may be. No, it's definitely over there. Yeah. Oh, is that a cave, like, right on the side? Okay, I'll need to check that out. Yeah, this is definitely the right... Yeah, so I'm back at my base. Awesome. Or at least I hope I am. If I'm in the completely wrong area, this would be awful. Was that an Enderman or was that a horse? Or am I just tweaking? I was avoiding that. It was an Enderman. Okay. I forgot those oh. There is a burning zombie. I am quickly climbing the mountain because I don't want to be near these mobs. I don't want to be near them. Where'd the dirt go? It went here. Okay. Right. I think if I'm on the right hill, you know. Hi, hello, welcome to the stream. Currently, I am trying to find my way back to my base because I was unsuccessful at finding lava. So, yeah, my goal currently is basically just to try and get to the Nether as quickly as I can. Obviously, it's not going as well, considering I haven't found any lava. But yeah. Where was that torch I put up? It was somewhere. I'm assuming I have to continue in this direction. As of right now, I'm not, like, doing kind of, like, open servers or anything like that. So, sorry. Just, because... Right, I have no clue where I am. I'm definitely lost, but maybe that mountain over there. It's a mountain, that's where I know I live, you know. It's like, oh yeah, where'd you live? It's a mountain. A mountain in the world, and I cannot remember which one it is. I'm like hovering. No, I don't have a map or like, I keep forgetting to add on like the waypoint mod, so I have no way of knowing where I am. If I find a torch though, because I did place torches randomly on my way to, like, on my way out, but then I completely forgot where I put them. Actually, it should be easier to spot my house because there should be like two massive pillars next to them because I was trying to do a clutch or something. What is that? Is that a ruined nether portal? Oh my gosh, that's actually awesome. I've definitely gone past where I live then. For sure. It's probably somewhere in like that direction. Taking all of this. Oh, I can't collect anything else. What do I not need? I don't need you. Don't need you. I'm gonna take you because you're gonna be useful when I get to the nether. I'm gonna head in this direction and pray for the best. I need to get back to birch biomes, actually. That's what I need to do. Because I know that's where I'm, like, located. So, hopefully it's somewhere over here. And I was just, like, messing up and went the wrong way. If I don't find it, then I am done for. Because that's where, like, all my stuff was. But I am, like, 99% sure I could find my way back. It just might take a while. But, yeah. I'll definitely find my way back. Because it's like a mountain like that, but it's not that mountain. I'm gonna actually head back up that mountain because it might help me more because I know I had a torch near there. So if I can find that torch and head back the way I came. Hello again. Welcome back to the stream. Right. So yeah, no, just like definitely need to get back up here and then see if I can find it. What? I have no clue what that question means at all. Don't even know if I want to know, actually. I am like praying I can find my house soon. Because I remember this whole field thing. I don't remember if... Because like, here's my torch. So I don't know if I came this way. Oh, I came this way. Okay. Oh. Shoot, the thing that I have. Yeah. That, like, if you're asking how it was made, I drew it, and then like the 4 different kind of sprites I need, and then I use like I think I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like video tube mini to there's lava to oh my gosh, there was lava right next to my house. But I used the video tube mini to do like the blinking animations, like to time it and stuff. If like that's what you're asking. No problem. Thank you. Right, I need to get up here and collect this lava, because this has been an absolute joke, the fact that it's been right next to where my base is the entire time. I also need to be like careful and not get hit by it. I'm gonna... I can't swap out my torches. Okay. I don't want to climb up like next to the lava. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, this is awful. Hold on. Actually, let me do this differently. I'm doing this differently. I'm not risking it. Right, it's like right here. Boom. I got 1 bucket of lava. Now I need to find like 3 more. And then I can make an infinite lava source and make that nether portal. I'm like pretty sure I have if you're talking about lava though, I think with lava, like with water, if there's only one source, you can only grab the source and not all of it. Like all the extra bits, unfortunately. Oh, I got a golden knife with Curse of Vanishing. I actually didn't notice that. Right, let me put all these away, and then I will start on making an infinite lava source. I think, like, if you're talking about if you drop it into the lava, yeah. Most things can be destroyed by lava. I don't know about netherite, actually. But most things can be destroyed by lava. I need to, like, taking away these torches. They are starting to annoy me. I'm going to check around the rest of my island, actually, because if there's lava there as well, that'd be good. But it is also turning night. I think that may be true. I don't know. I think there are certain blocks beacons can have above them, you know, like glass blocks and stuff. But I think they work fine with those. Some with not with others. I am not too sure. Could it turn night any slower? I seriously need to make a roof for my house. I may do that like off stream, but I do need to make one. Alright. Yeah, no, I don't think they work with things above them. Yeah, I'm good. So, definitely no more lava here. Let me check around the rest of the mountain. The plan's just to find a bit more lava so I can hopefully make like an infinite lava source, and then I'll build another portal. Once I've done that, I'm definitely going to the nether and going to try and find a nether fortress, but I think in the recent updates it's become harder to find, so that'll be awesome. I'll just spend like another hour finding one, I guess. I need like lava pits to spawn right in front of me. I might not make one. It depends. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're playing Minecraft. Oh, there was a lava pit as well right near my house. How am I missing these things? I feel like I'm right numpty now. But yes, hello, welcome to the stream. Ah, thank you. I quite like the character as well. Took me a while to come up with a design. My Minecraft skin, funnily enough, is just a character from Honko Star Rail. Because he's like one of my favourite characters. But I am thinking at some point I might just make my own Minecraft skill if I can skin, if I can ever be bothered to. Yeah, I know. I don't think Crying Obsidian has a use outside of that respawn anchors. But don't take that as facts. I am not sure. Right, so now that I've got like a whole lava pit near my house. I mean, if you got 21, you can make a ton of respawn anchors. I should like 2 more buckets worth of lava and then I'm done. I can go make the nether portal. I need to remember to bring gold with me, actually. Right, where was it? Was it like over here? I actually don't remember. Oh yeah, there it is. Let me place torches actually so I remember which way. I'm just gonna ignore how it's casually burning down an entire forest, but you know. I'm hoping actually today that I have enough time to upload this stream to YouTube. Because it takes ages. Because obviously they've got to do the whole copyright stuff, and it's like, waiting for that to go through. It's like, it takes ages. I hope I'm going the right way back up. I don't like how many caves there are around here, but you know. I probably should have made my house on top of a mountain. Right. If this, like, last bucket doesn't do it, then I have to go back down again. Yeah, I have to go back down again. It's just like back and forth. Should actually, instead, I'll do a water thing down. So I don't have to constantly climb up and down. Eat? It's three bars of hunger. I think I'm good with just, well now it's like what, a half of one. Right. I'm gonna do it like, yeah, if I just start it here, makes it less of a thing. Shut up! I don't remember which one of yous it is, but I know it's one of my friends. Right. Last lava bucket. Hopefully, I'm hoping, I'm really, really hoping. Yeah, that's where it is. Right, hopefully this is the last bucket I need. If it's not, I'm giving up on going to the nether. I should also try and make a mob farm. I should definitely do that. I'd suck at it, but I should do it. Mostly because, like, that'd be really good for, like, XP and, like, stuff I need. Oh yeah, there's my way back up. Ooh, I should try and find one of those, like, ocean monuments as well. I want to find one of those. But maybe I'll save that for, like, once I've done a majority of the game. Ooh, there's iron over there. Okay. It's good to know that there's, like, more on this mountain than I actually thought there was. Um... Oh, I've just got a notification that my computer's running low on storage space. Awesome! I don't know how, because I'm using the one, like, the one drive that has a lot of space. Oh, I messed it up. Oh, this is the worst. I hate this. Actually, I will never touch Minecraft again after this. Like, genuinely. I used to play Adopt Me when I was, like, much younger. Uh, I've not played it in a while, like, in years. Um, I don't know what an Adopt Me voice is either. uh, how much iron do I have? But yeah, I'll do this and it's like wait for it to turn night as well so I can quickly go and get more lava. Keep forgetting what I need to get and it's lava. Right. Off I go! All the way back down to the lava pit for the millionth time. Because Minecraft's taken the mick. I've never seen an Adopt Me live, to be honest. So, I wouldn't know what they sound like. But, yeah. That's awesome. I've like run out of things to say now. This is like, it's like I've got 30 minutes left before I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream, and I literally don't know what else to talk about. I think I've said everything else I could think of. I could talk about what I had to eat before I started the stream, but it wasn't like anything that interesting. Could talk about how Minecraft actually annoys me sometimes. Yeah. I'm gonna grab that iron that I saw before, actually. I do need to do that. I think it's like when I went up here, it was somewhere there. So hopefully it wasn't my eyes deceiving me. And it was not. Oh, it's above a massive thing though. No. No, no. No, no. I'm not doing this. Not today. Not today. Not today. I don't want to go in the caves. I've done awesome so far. I'm not going in them. I plan to keep it that way. Right. Almost close to... I should have just brought water buckets down, to be honest, and made the nether portal down there. I don't know why I'm gonna make it, like, so close to my house. Because that's probably the worst idea to do. Yeah, it's setting stuff on fire, so, you know, this is awesome. I'm just gonna remove part of this tree. You know, so not everything burns down. Yeah, I think Minecraft just hates me. Can you even make an infinite lava source? I feel like I'm just being incredibly stupid right now, and you actually can't make one. And that you can only do it with water. And I'm really hoping that's, like, not the case. I need to remember to remove the torches, because they are, once again, beginning to annoy me. You know what, I might stream again tomorrow. I think I fancy doing a bit more streaming tomorrow. So I might just do that. But, I don't know, might do a Terraria stream instead. Or go back to doing like the Minecraft horror ones, but then all the ones that I've played so far mess with the computer, so it has to be played in like a certain screen or something, and it's like super annoying. But yeah, Enderman. What kind of stream should I do tomorrow? I don't know. Probably either this again or Terraria. Because I do remember Terraria being fun the last time I streamed it, even though I had no clue what I was doing. Hi, hello, welcome to the stream. We are playing Minecraft, with the current goal right now being to make a nether portal and get to the nether. Though, currently, it's taking a while to gather lava. As you can kind of see. So this is Minecraft Java, but it's with the fabulously optimized mod pack, so there are shaders on. Like, I think... Hold on, I need to find... Is there a button that does it? No. I'll find it, but it's... Like, if you go here... these are the shaders that I have. So it's like, if I wanted to swap over to this one, I'll apply that. Completely forgot I had 2 shaders, actually. I really hope this doesn't crash my game now. But yeah, no, just the fabulously optimized. Oh, it has the Farmer's Delight one as well. Oh, I actually prefer these shaders. It's free. The only thing that'll cost money is obviously Minecraft Java Edition, but all mods and stuff on Minecraft are for free. But as for how much Minecraft is, I have no clue. Yes, I do know Cobblemon. It is quite a good mod. So Java Edition, I'm pretty sure can be played, like, I don't know if it's only limited to PC, but you can play it on PC, and you just search up, like, Minecraft Java download or something and just look for, like, the official Minecraft thing for it. Yes, I do. Well, I played Cobblemon, like, once. Not for very long either. Mostly because it was alright, it was decent. Let me get rid of those. I don't want these. But yeah, no, to get Minecraft Java, you go onto the, like, official Minecraft website and you can download it from there, but it does cost money, I'm pretty sure. I just don't remember how much. And then, like, if you want mods for it, you have to use outside websites, like, or apps really, like Modrint or CurseForge. Um, I'm like 90% sure actually the last video I posted on YouTube got copyrighted. So I've changed up the music this time and I'm hoping it doesn't get copyrighted this time. Because I do want to post my streams on there, but obviously because of the music I have playing in the background, I've got to make sure it's not that. Hi, hello, welcome to the stream. We are playing Minecraft. Oh, can you not make an infinite lava source? You know what? I'm just gonna make another portal with the lava that I have there. And I'm gonna stop stalling around and actually just get into the nether. I'll need to remember to bring gold with me though, just in case. I also have like 20 minutes before I like finish up the live, so I need to do this quickly. Oh, the clouds look a lot more realistic in this shader actually. I did not notice that. Where should I make my nether portal though? That is the question. Probably make it like just a bit further from my base, just because. It's like, get one bucket, one bucket. And it's like, if I build it here, that should be fine. I don't have flint and steel actually. How am I gonna light this? I complete. Oh wait, how do you make obsidian? Is it lava first then water, or is it water first and then lava? I think it may be. No, that makes cobblestone. Okay, so I've just wasted a bit of lava. Awesome. Good thing I actually brought a pickaxe with me. Okay, yeah, so it's water first and then lava to make obsidian. Right, okay. There's like clearly water in there, but you know, if you just didn't want to turn into that, you know, that's fine by me. I'm gonna actually put this back so I can pick it up and try again. So I don't know what's happening there, but you know, it's clearly refusing to actually work. Unless the water needs to be like flowing or something, so like if I do that and then, oh yeah, okay. Figured it out. And then do like if I build up around it and then put the water flowing down so I can just place the lava. I think that should work. I'm hoping. How come you can make an infinite water source but you can't make an infinite lava source? It's like if I put that there. Did I not pick up lava? Yeah, okay, so that'll work. Actually, I do think I have flint and I do have iron, so not all is lost. Lost? Lost. But we are also so close to making the nether portal. I actually cannot wait. I fear we only have like one bit left of lava though, so I'm gonna have to go back to that lava pit and grab some more. So let me go do that real quick. Oh, I'm low on hunger. But yeah, no, once I get to the Nether, I think definitely look for a fortress first, and then I like, you know, do everything else. Because I'll need to get a few blazes, I'll need to get a good few endermen as well. Um, so yeah, I got all those things to do. And then I can look for another not another fortress. Um, oh, what are the portals called? I've forgotten what the portal's called. But end portal? No, yeah, end portal. One of those. Um, so yeah, no, I'll probably just stream this tomorrow and do, like, actually get to the Nether and stuff. Unless I do like, you know, a bit of off-camera mining and get to the Nether coincidentally during that time. Which I probably do just because I've spent so much time actually doing nothing. You know what, I might actually start streaming on Twitch again as well. Should probably start doing that again. I'm scared one day I'm just gonna fall into the lava whilst I've got it there. I like, that's just the end of my world. Okay, we need 3 more blocks and we're done. 3 more blocks and we're done with the Nether portal, and then I can go to the Nether. I actually cannot wait to have this done with. And I can probably do it before I have to end stream, which is wonderful. I did not mean to do that at all. Right. Okay, 2 more buckets of lava and I'm done. And I can go to the Nether. Finally. I'm actually quite excited about this, I cannot lie. It's taken me a lot longer than it should have to actually get this far as well. I don't know how people speedrun this game, to be honest. Like, you've got to have some kind of world generation luck. Okay, it's turning night as well, which is like awful timing. But those will be the last 2 buckets I need, and then I can get to the Nether, and then actually make progress towards beating the game. This might be the most progress I've made in one of these lives. I left my door open. That's like the worst move to do. Okay, okay. Has my food finished cooking? Yes, it has. Awesome. Gonna grab that. I'm gonna smelt this as well. I need to grab you, make this. Put this back, put this back, put this way, put this way, put that. Yep, yep. Actually need you. I feel like I needed something else from here, and I don't remember what. I needed gold. I need gold just in case. But I think for piglins and stuff you need cooked gold. Yeah, no, let's finish up the nether portal so I can get there. And boom! Done! Built the nether portal. And I know I've built it right because I've done this about a million times. So if it don't work for whatever reason, it's the game's fault. Oh yes, that's awesome. I love it. Yes. I can finally get to the nether. Right, let me put most of my stuff away. Actually, I'll bring the dirt with me as well as like a few stacks of cobblestone just in case. I'll put my shield on. How's that gold coming along? I'll grab that. And I'll put these on. And I think I'm about ready to go to the nether. It's like I get there and a ghast immediately blows it up. I'd actually be devastated. Oh, no, I don't want to stick my shift key. Nah, it's frozen. Why's the game froze? Don't do this to me, I just got to the nether, don't crash. There is no way! There is no way! There is no way! Did I spawn in a fortress? I spawned in a fortress. There's no actual way. Out of all places to spawn in the nether, I spawned in a fortress. Oh my gosh, that makes things so much easier. Oh, that's like perfect. I actually can't believe that. Oh, no way. No way. I spawned in a fortress. I'd expect it to at least be going like, looking around for hours. There's no actual way. Out of everywhere it decides to spawn me. Oh, I need to prepare. I need to like get a whole bunch of stuff. Oh my gosh. You know what, just because of that, I think I might end the stream a bit earlier, just so I have more to do in the next one. Um. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I found another fortress. Like, I spawned in one. But yeah, no. I hope everyone watching has enjoyed the stream so far. You know, it's been fun. Not a lot's happened, except for near the end, I guess. But I hope you've all enjoyed